Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to see what is micro front end. You might have had an experience with microservice when you worked on the back end. The similar way, we have a few new design called micro front end. That means it's a design approach. So for example, if you have any web applications that is a huge, so you can divide that into smaller modules, so that can go as a individual component when it goes to deployment and maintenance. So that is called micro front end. So that can be developed independently, deployed, tested, etc., so on. Okay, um, that is called micro front end. Let's see what it is providing us and what are those benefits and pros and cons. So scalability, so when we choose any new design, that's obviously the scalability, independent deployment, technology, maintainability, reusability, resilience, everything comes into picture when we choose new design. So let's see one by one. Scalability, so it's something called, like, when you scale your applications, so you make sure that it's performing well and good in the production environment. Okay, yeah. So the next, deployment pipeline. So you might have an experience with different pipelines. For example, heavily used pipeline is Jenkins. Okay, so Jenkins, when it comes to pipeline, you can suppose if you have different multiple micro front end applications that can go individually for the deployment. It can have its own pipeline, so it can be deployed, built and deployed individually. So technology stack, so suppose you have 5 different micro front end applications, so that can which can be used by any other language. It doesn't have to be only one specific language. That's a flexibility here. And then parallel development, so 5 different micro front ends can be developed parallelly by different team members. That improves that mean quick development effort, right? So then comes to resilience, reusability and upgrades. So if suppose, for example, if one of the micro front end is down, it's not going to impact any other. It's not going to bring down any other micro front end, because it's all individual micro front end applications. Okay, so suppose you are developing 5 different MFE for your team. Suppose, like, if two of those micro front end are required or needed by the different teams, so they can use it as a plug and play. That's the flexibility we have here. For example, and if you upgrade or update any versions, it's not going to affect any other applications, but you need to make sure that it's all having the similar versions. And challenges, like, it's always there is a challenge when we go for a new design. So complexity will be more, and communications overhead, security, dependency management, performance issues, testing. So these will be there for sure. So we should do address all of them individually. So here is the architecture. How does it looks like when we go for a micro front ends? You might have seen, you have worked already in the microservices. A similar way, here we have the architecture here, front end and back end, and the storage structures here. So if you see, like, uh, which one, the product API gateway, obviously, like, we might be using some other gateways, different gateways. Some people use RPG, or some other people choose different gateways. That's the entry point for your application. Okay, now first, if you see on your left side, it's a back end, and then here is the front end. So if you see, like, a different like modules, these are all different modules, like product, basket and advanced APIs. So in the before that box, API gateway, BFF, you see that product section, basket section, advert section. So those are all different individual micro front-end applications. So what we will do now, so we can go and see, like, I created 2 apps. One is the container applications, another one is the we can call it that as a child applications, right? So let's see, like, for example, if you want to, I have used React here. Suppose, like, if you want to create your React applications, you have the command called create React app. So that's a general standard way to go and develop your React applications. But in this case, so you cannot use that straightforward standard way, because like here we are going to use the module federation approach to implement the micro frontend. So here, how does if you see on your right side here, I named it as a container applications, because this can contain multiple different frontend, micro frontend. So you can call this as a parent applications or container application. So what we'll do is like we'll go with creating the folders individually. We are not going to use any command to create the React applications. Like what you do is go and create the folder and then create the public folder, source folder, and then you need to create individual files here, app.jx, bootstrap, index. Likewise, package.json, you will have different, definitely this is required for React applications, like how you have it in the backend for the Maven applications. Okay, so this is with the main thing, like webpack config. This is where you need to configure your module, and then this will be exposed in the parent. This will be consumed by the parent and then exposed in the child applications. So it out of box, it does not support any out of box configuration. So what we need is we need to go and individually create this webpack.config.js file. Okay, let's go and see. Public, nothing but it has only this index.html file. So nothing much in this HTML file. Okay, let's go to the source folder. You can see this app.jx. So right, just what you'll do is just write some header, and then the components, like whatever the components you want to implement. For example, drop down or into input box or command box, anything that you want to just have it as a sample applications. You can just write anything here. Okay, so when I run the applications, I will show you how does it looks like here. Let's go with the let's open the bootstrap. So here, this is the main bootstrap for the React applications. You need to have this React DOM.create root and then element by root. We need to call this root. So you might be knowing this one if you are a React developer. Okay, and then let's see index.js. So usually we will have the implementations here in the index.js, but what I did is like I created the bootstrap and then I have the common component invocation here, because like I want this React to be loaded after webpack config is configured. Okay, now let's go and see the webpack config.js. Here you see the sections. What we'll have is here we'll have the module exports, and then we have inside that we have the plugins, right? We have the plugins, dev server, and the port number server, everything you need to mention here. Here you need to mention the entry point here. So which file it should invoke as part of webpack. So here I provided as a index.js. Okay, then output, where the output should be created, resolve, and then what will be the file that should be resolved. Okay, likewise I have a module, I have the plugin. This is where you need to focus mainly. I'm using the you can have a lot of plugins as much as you like, but the plugin, this is called like a module federation plugin. This is the one that is going to have the it's going to combine the micro front end designer concept. You definitely need this one if you want to implement the micro front end. Okay, here you need to name it as a container. It can be any name. Here remotes. Okay, so what is this? Is like this is child application. What I do is like, this is container application called parent one. Let me go to the child one. So child one, what I named it as this is remote application. So the structure and files, everything will be same. Let me open this one. Bootstrap. I might have different implementations here. Here what I did is this is remote application, or you can call this as a child application. Okay. So here click on control, go to hello world. So I have the hello world here. Where is my hello world JS? Okay, I have one hello world. I have the drop down. So I have the drop down implementations here. So this is how you need to implement the drop down, and I think you might be knowing this if you are a React.js developers. Okay. And then what I did is I have one hello world, I have one drop down. Go to bootstrap, So this is the main invocations for the React application. So here what I did is I'm calling both hello world and drop down components here. And then again, the same like a parent applications, I'm importing the bootstrap JS within the index.js. Let's go to the webpack config.js. Everything will be same entry, and then dev server, you need to have the different port number, right? So if you are running in local or any other environment, should have the different port number. So output path, resolve, module, and then plugins. So this is plugins. Here also I should have the ModuleFederation plugins. And both applications, you should, any application that you implement my Microfrontend, you should have this ModuleFederation plugin. So here I named it as a remote, file name remote entry.js. Usually people prefer to go with remote entry.js. So it can be any name. Here what I did is, you see this expose, this is a very important attribute, or we can say it's a place you need to focus mainly. So what I'm doing is I am exposing this hello world /hello world source and hello world, and I gave the path here, and then drop down. So I'm exposing these two component, and then wherever I want to use it. So this can be used anywhere, any other applications. Okay, this is like nothing but the shared module. This will tell like what which React DOM versions, and then that we are going to use, and then required version. So make sure that you have the same version in the both parent and child application. The same difference will be here. This is expose. If you go to parent application, let's go to the parent one, container one. Where is it? Yeah, here here we call this as a remote, and then there is plugin ModuleFederation plugin, and then we need to have this remote tag, and then you need to mention remote at, you need to have this complete localhost or the port number, and then it should have the remote entity.js. Okay, so that it can be that can be used here. Okay, yeah, that's two important things that you need to configure. So once you're done with these configurations, and then you can go ahead and run your application. Let me just run the first remote application. Let's see whether it is up or down. It's not up. Let's go to the group here. Let's just execute it. I used to execute via what is that, git bash. That is fine. We can start it here as well. npm start. Let's see. Let's see. You can see hello from remote applications. Type something. That's it. I didn't have anything here. Let's type something. That's only the input box. Okay, now we'll start the parent application. Start. But remember, like if you Google it with Google AI or or ChatGPT, anything, don't think that at one stretch or one step you will be able to make it. But you need to keep searching it, and you need to practice for sure, because it's always not a straightforward answer from any at any AI, either ChatGPT or Google AI. Okay. So now what happened? I started the remote application. You see, hello from remote application, type something. Then you can see here remote component below, type something here. So if you see this input box, it is coming from the child application. So I'm exposing that and using it in the parent application. You see the port number 3000. That's a container application's port number. Okay, and then the top section is called container application. Just to differentiate, I made it like this. This is the container host container. Input below is rendered from the remote application. So earlier I used to make a mistake. Let me show you here in the entry. Use source index.js. So I used to have the here it was what was it? The bootstrap. If you call this bootstrap in the webpack configure.xml, it was calling bootstrap.js here. So if you make it like that, what it does is like a React, it loads it before it configures the webpack config JS file for the module federations. Before it plugin gets configured, this must load it. So I used to get that error before. So let me just show you. If you want, you can change it and check that. Let's change it to root staff.js. Run it again. Let's see. It executed. It does not have anything here. Let's so if you are JavaScript developer, or if you are a UI developer, you should be able to know how to inspect it, right? So right click and go to inspect. Go to your network tab, or you can go to your console, right? See, you can check it in the console. What is the error? See this error? So I used to get this error since beginning. I developed when I create these two applications. So it always showing this one shared module is not available for eager consumption. So that means this React is loaded before Webpack is configured. So that was the big issue that I was having for a long time. And I keep googling it, or keep searching with ChatGPT, and then I get it after a lot of time. After spending a lot of time. So you should mainly focus on this area, and then to call the index.js. Okay, just change it back. Index.js, and index.js, what you should do is you should import the bootstrap.js. So this will, what it does is it does the um, um, late binding, or it does not do the eager loading. So it will wait until the webpack is configured. Okay, the same thing goes for the container application as well. You see here, source, you need to load the index.js, and then index.js you should import the bootstrap so that it does not do the eager loading. That's the main thing. I think that's it for now for the micro front end implementations. Main thing is you need to, there are other ways to implement micro front end, but here nowadays like heavily used approach is like module federation plugin. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching my video, and see you on the next video. Thank you.